What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I just want to give you guys an update on Gennady Golovkin. I did see the post conference, and they asked Triple G about a lot of. They asked him a lot of questions that we really didn't get answers to. You know, I mean, it was basically a politician's answer. You know what I mean? True answers to a politician. And, you know, stating, and Abel Sanchez was all on board with it too. Like, hey, it was a close fight. You got to give credit to Canelo. He's champion today. That's really all they left it. You know what I mean? And they didn't really go into depth on what he wanted to do, which is kind of smart. But then again, it's kind of, incoherent. You know what I mean? Because as far as, for one, they of course they asked him what Canelo should have done. Did he think he was going to come forward like they thought? Yeah, that was the plan. Two, why didn't he go to the body? Like I stated, he should have, like a lot of people wanted him to do, because the body was available for Golovkin instead of all that headhunting. He didn't answer any of those questions. Abe just brushed it off like, well, hey, I'm pretty sure that, Chepo and Eddie, wanted Canelo to do more too. And then, he didn't do it. He fought a great fight. It's kind of smart because, what they're doing is they are laying mercy totally to the judges. So this is a good thing on this behalf of Golovkin. He knows now how to play the system. Yes, there will be a 3. I don't know when. It might not be immediately. Maybe Golovkin will take some time off, especially after his first professional loss. But there will be a 3. And Gennady Golovkin and Abel Sanchez, that's why they're speaking the way they are. Because they know if they went and badmouthed Golden Boy and came up with conspiracy and, it was a lie, he was robbed. If that would have happened, then we would have been looking at, then you have to attack the judges because, if it's corruption going on, possibly, they didn't want to go that route because they anticipate on negotiating another fight. And they asked him like, okay, well, what if you don't get the Canelo fight again? And then the interpreter sucked. I had to say that, man, because the dude really didn't know how to ask the questions that were asked directly to Golovkin and relay those messages to Golovkin. Golovkin replied, well, yeah, sure, we want another fight. We'll wait around until that happens, and I'm like, okay, you've waited around for enough. You lost the WBO belt waiting on this guy. You lost your O waiting on this guy. You know what I mean? So I guess you might as well go for broke if you already been beaten. There's nothing really to hide no more. You don't get the 21 title defenses to break Bernard Hopkins' record. That does not happen anymore. Or the 22 title defenses, I think. No, it's 21. He would have, I think he tied with Bernard Hopkins, but he didn't beat his record. So I think they're both tied with the same record, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But I do believe it was 21. And if he would have beat Canelo, this would have made 22, which I believe at that point, Hopkins' record would have been broken by him. So, but yeah, they're just playing it cool, playing it safe, because due to the excitement of the fight, it's going to be a trilogy. And you guys have to think about it. None of these guys have fought the same guy before. This is like Denzel Washington doing Equalizer and Equalizer 2. You know what I mean? Because, they're mostly one-hitter quitter guys. They never got in the ring. The true rivals, he wanted Golovkin. Well, they're pretty much the fans forced him to fight Golovkin at first. You have to also take in the time consideration. I don't see why they're not fighting it, but I do see why they're not fighting it. They're not fighting it because they want another fight. But all the other stuff that hasn't been talked about, the fact that they wait, I think it was all orchestrated. You guys seen my channel. Whoever would listen, I've told it and I've said it in many interviews. Golden Boy, they banked on, they bet on the idea of Golovkin looking old and getting old in the ring. He did look like he's missed a step after the step because look, here's the deal. They knew they were ready to fight Golovkin when he fought Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs did a job, and his mission was, hey, let's take enough out of Gennady Golovkin's youth. Let's take enough out of his time, which is his youth. Let's get him in a 12-round fight to allow my boy Canelo Alvarez to soften this guy up enough, and by that time he'll be older anyway. Okay, he'll be 35. Then you fought a tough opponent in Danny Jacobs, went 12 rounds to a close decision, your damn self. The knockdown was the defining factor of who won that fight, in my opinion, but he still won unanimously. But it was still a tough fight, nonetheless. So, since it was a great fight, sure, now it's time to put a 27-year-old Canelo Alvarez in there with him. Never in 16, never when he was 34. No time in 16 was that fight. It had every excuse in the world. They even gave up the damn WBC belt. That's crazy. And that's why a lot of people looked at Canelo like, did you really just give your belt up? You know what I mean? Without fighting for it? So it was all in the strategy. It's all in the plan to me because I look straight through things. I've been watching boxing too long. Whenever you got the guy, that's the A side, don't get me wrong. Canelo fought a hell of a fight, but Canelo didn't win this fight on his own. That's my number one problem with Canelo Alvarez, and it always will be more than likely as long as he's with Golden Boy, is that he will have this level of protection that he doesn't need. And honestly, no one really deserves. Floyd had it. A lot of fighters have it. Danny Garcia had it. It's a lot of fighters that had it. Oscar De La Hoya had it. As long as he was winning. But it was more profitable for De La Hoya to lose to make more money off De La Hoya. It's all set up like that. That's the controversial side of the fight game. But back to Canelo. Canelo was placed at the right time to fight him. And here's the thing. Why do you really think those guys didn't fight in May? Do you think it was really for Glenn Burrell? For all we knew, it could have been traces of Glenn Burrell in the system purposely because to prolong the fight. You know what I'm saying? I've been saying this time and time again. For all we know, this could all have been orchestrated for this fight to happen right now. So the Golovkin has slowed down some, throw him off with another opponent, with a totally different style than Canelo. Then Canelo changes his style up completely. He's had a long year layoff. He hasn't fought in a year. He's young. He's fresh. You know what I'm saying? He's ready to go. Golovkin, on the other hand, is 36 years old. It's September, right? I think, in 6 months, he'll be 37. So it'll be even easier for Canelo Alvarez, so to speak. But because one thing we have to give credit to Golovkin. Being 36 years of age, he's still able to bang, thump, box, move, counter, and fight. He's able to do all this at that age. See, yes, all the advantages belong to Canelo. We understand that. He has youth, he has speed, he has power, he has the marketing promotional company behind him. He has all this favor. But then you compare that to all I just said with Canelo, and then you compare it to Triple G. What does Triple G have? He's older. He's 36. He doesn't have the marketing ability. He doesn't have the speed. He's not the fastest. He does have power, and he has a determination, and he has will. You know what I mean? He has heart. So that's the things I like about Gennady Golovkin. But dealing with the cash cow of the end, the superstar of that weight division, which is Canelo Alvarez, you fall into the web of politics, and this is exactly what happened. If you look at like Lara Lara didn't. They didn't play that game. That's why they knew we didn't want to be like Lara, because when Lara lost, Lara was bitter. Lara said, "Hey, it's Golden Boy's fault. It's this, it's that. You look after the refs. The refs is foul," which I believe all of it. But those are things you can't say and want a rematch. You know what I mean? Because then you're pissing off the promotional company that gave you an opportunity to fight the guy that you've been chasing for 2 years. So Gennady Golovkin did do a smart thing, and I'm glad he did not go down the same road as Kovalev. And this is a good thing. You know, he's really an all-around better dude than Kovalev. I think Kovalev is an asshole and a racist, but that's just my opinion. You know what I mean? Because I mean, he just, you know, he's a jerk off, you know, a dirtbag. And Golovkin is not like that. But you can tell Golovkin's smart enough, kind of like Manny Pacquiao is, to still have that smile, still show that, hey, it's okay. We win some, we lose some kind of attitude. And hopefully that attitude and how he approached this situation, you know, and how he dealt with it will get him a third fight. Because now that's all that matters to seal his deal. Now he has a rival. Canelo and Golovkin will be tied in forever. It'll be another Gotti Ward situation, another Barrera Morales, another Oscar De La Hoya Shane Mosley. It's going to be like that simply because the aging old king that tries to reclaim his throne, it will sell. It will work. I like the way they played it. Abel Sanchez is not a fool. He's a lot of things, but he's no fool. He knew not what not to do. So he knows this is going to be a trilogy. You're going to see a third fight probably in May, you know, or, you know, they might push it like they did this year and make it this time next year, while Gennady Golovkin is 37 years old in 4 or 5 months, okay, older, and that'll soften him up a lot more this time. So it's all a strategy of time, because fighting certain fighters, it's a timing game. I call it the coward game, but it is a timing game. Timing game could work for someone that is too green, but none of this guy. Canelo was never green in 16. He should have easily fought Gennady Golovkin, but he didn't do so. You know, they decided, no, he's too tough, he's too strong, he's too hard right now. And even when they fought him, they thought the same shit. He's too tough, he's too strong, we can't handle him right now. So that's exactly what happened. So the fight, in my opinion, was pushed so long forth that Gennady Golovkin will be a decent age to be taken. He will be that much slower. He'll be that much older. You know, the punching power and the skill is the last to go, but even the skill diminishes with your reflexes, okay? So Golden Boy, it's a smart company. Oscar De La Hoya knew what he was doing when he found Canelo Alvarez. He knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. So, you know, but congratulations to Canelo Alvarez, because regardless of the politics, which are very important, the fight was a classic fight. You know, I give credit where credit's due. It was a classic fight. Both of these guys fought kind of like at the end of that fight. Understand this. These guys like had to respect each other. It was more so in this fight than the first fight, because the first fight they were like friends, we'll do it anyway, ha ha ha. Then it was a draw, then it was like really ha ha ha. You know what I mean? But at this point, it's like, hey, dude, good fight. You know what I mean? I don't have any complaints. You didn't run. I can't complain about anything that you did. You did a good job fighting me. Yeah, I think I beat you, but hey, you think you beat me and you got the decision. So, hey, that's what we're dealing with. But the press conference showed exactly that. Playing the politician. Playing the game. Let's get the third fight. That's the plan. So you guys tell me what you think about this post-conference recap. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.